Welcome back to Wake Up America. So astronomers around the world have their eyes on the skies. They usually do, but really right now because they are tracking an extremely rare interstellar comet. NASA scientists call it Comet 3I Atlas, and it's only the third ever known object to pass by from outside of our solar system. But that's not it. One of our next guests claims it also could be an artifact of alien technology. So let's bring in Harvard astrophysicist Dr. Avi Loeb and former NASA astronaut Leroy Chiao. So, Avi, I got to ask you, you start with this report. Since you claim it could be, based off the comet's trajectory, massive size, that it might not be naturally occurring, that it could actually be of alien technology?
Well, there are some anomalies about this object, so we should keep our eyes open. First, its size. It's at least 5 kilometers in diameter, but it could be up to a factor of 10 bigger than that. And the puzzle here is that it's at least 1,000 times more massive than the previous object, Borisov, which was a comet. But then you ask yourself, how come the previous object was roughly a couple of times the size of a football field, and this one is of order Manhattan Island? There is also not enough rocky material in interstellar space to accommodate the delivery of a size, roughly the size of Manhattan Island once per decade. Now, in addition to that, its trajectory is aligned with the planets to within 5 degrees, and the chance of that happening at random is 1 in 500. So here is another anomaly. In addition, there was a scattered light in front of the object, 10 times longer than it is wide, in the Hubble Space Telescope image. Usually we see scattered light behind the object, away from the sun, because dust particles are pushed away by radiation pressure from the sun. There was also nickel without iron, much more nickel than iron in the gas plume around it. And one place where we know there is much more nickel than iron is in industrially produced nickel alloys. So all of this suggests that we should keep our eyes on the ball. It's coming very close to Mars, which is another anomaly, at the end of this week. Yeah. And we will have a chance to image it with a 30-kilometer resolution per pixel.
So, Leroy, basically, what we don't know is what we don't know, and we need to know more. This thing was first discovered back in July. It's almost out of sight now. They're going to get another shot at it. But, you know, I guess you can't rule out the fact that it could be something that we've never seen before.
Well, that's right. By all accounts, it probably is a comet. It's got some very interesting, unusual signatures, as Professor Loeb pointed out. And so it's fun to kind of speculate. But I've even seen quotes from Professor Loeb in interviews that, you know, the chances are relatively small, right, that it's an alien technology. But it's fun to kind of to speculate about that. And having said all that, I will say that I'm a believer that there is intelligent life all over the universe. It's just simply the universe is so vast, I don't believe we'll ever find each other. But it's fun to kind of speculate and play around with it.
Yeah, I forget who said the famous quote that if there's not other intelligent life, what an awful waste of space. So, Professor, I mean, you're going to get another chance here when this thing comes back around on the other side of the sun, and you'd actually like NASA to use the Mars reconnaissance satellite to turn around and not shoot pictures of Mars, but shoot pictures of this thing. Have you heard anything back from them on that?
Well, that's in fact more related to Jupiter. On March 16, 2026, this object, 3I Atlas, will get close to Jupiter, and there is actually a spacecraft there called Juno. And I suggested instead of sending it into Jupiter, that was supposed to be the end of the mission, we should actually use it to observe 3I Atlas. And Representative Anna Paulina Luna wrote a letter to the interim head of NASA, Sean Duffy, encouraging NASA to use it. And I very much hope they will do so, because we need as much information as we can. And we are entering a new era now where the Rubin telescope in Chile will find a new interstellar object every few months. And we should check whether among the rocks that arrive to our backyard, there is a tennis ball that was thrown by a neighbor.
Huh. Leroy, real quickly, I mean, when we're talking about the asteroids, SpaceX, the Mars Artemis mission, it's kind of exciting time right now with space. 30 seconds, do you see that excitement out there amongst just everyday Americans?
Yeah, I think everybody is excited about these explorations and the missions, particularly ones involving humans, but other missions very much so as well. We've made some incredible discoveries over the years, and I agree that we should be observing this object as much as possible because they are rare, and if nothing else, we'll hopefully learn more about these objects, where they come from, and what they're composed of.
And NASA is being very clear, it does not pose a threat to the United States. So Dr. Loeb, Leroy, thanks for being with us this morning. Great to see you guys.